What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters? My name is Betsam, and this is going to be the UFC full card breakdown prediction and more for UFC Fight Night. Arnold Allen taking on Malquizile Costa. Guys, I am in Chile now. I've been in Peru, I've been on holiday, and so I apologize for the lack of videos, the lack of content, all the rest of it. Now we are in Chile, and honestly, the accommodation I'm staying at right now is fantastic. So I've got a much better place where I can set up equipment, record, and all the rest of it. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to start spitting and giving you out my picks, predictions, and bets for this fight card. And while a lot of you guys are not going to say this is an amazing fight card or all the rest of it, I still think we're going to find some fantastic betting opportunities. And as always, if you want to unlock my betting opportunities, I'll get this out of the way right off quick. You can sign up to We Want Picks /Betsam, code Betsam for 10% off. It's a discount there. And the link is in the description of this video and every other video that I post. So let's get into it, guys. We're going to start at the bottom of the card. It will be timestamped, all right? Don't jump down my spine about the timestamps. There will be timestamps, so you can click to whichever fight you want. First fight of the night, it's going to be a women's strawweight bout between Shauna Bannon taking on Nicole Caliari. Guys, Shauna Bannon isn't exactly an S-tier MMA fighter, right? She doesn't exactly possess all the skills that you want for an exciting fighter, but she is an effective fighter. She seems to be able to go out there and catch W's against at least the level of competition that the UFC keeps slating her against. And they might be trying to do the same thing here against Nicole Caliari, except I don't think it's going to work. I think Nicole Caliari is compact, she is stout, and I think that she is driven in the sense where she will come forward, she will create issues, and I think if she can just catch on to the fact that Shauna Bannon only possesses a sidekick and an armbar, she should be able to win this matchup. So I'm taking Nicole Caliari to win this one by either submission or decision. It's low-level WMMA, and if you don't want to, just don't have action on it. It's quite simply one of those matchups where you don't have to bet on every fight to enjoy it. You don't even have to start watching this fight card until potentially a first couple of matchups are out of the way. So, you know. Then we got Daniel Barez taking on Louis Gurule or Louis Gurule. This is a matchup that I think will actually deliver as far as the fandom goes. You know, Daniel Barez is primarily a boxer. He is Spanish. He has good hands. He does suffer in the takedown department. He does suffer in the grappling and the submission defense department. But with his hands, you know, he mostly gets his work done by his hands, by his striking, and by knockout. So, you know, if he's looking to get a victory here, it's probably going to be at the expense of Louis Gurule's chin. On the other side here, we have Louis Gurule, teammate of Brandon Royval, obviously came into the UFC through the Dana White's Contender Series. He defeated Nick Piccinini, who was a wrestler and was anticipated to win that matchup. But Gurule since hasn't been able to put it together. He struggled against the likes of Eldon Correa. He struggled against Ode Osbourne, where he lost by knockout. He struggled against Jesus Aguilar. So Louis Gurule is an opponent that, you know, has really not been able to put it together. But Daniel Barez is a step down in competition as far as the well-roundedness of some of the opponents that he may have lost to previously, and just the overall MMA talent that he's fought. So Louis Gurule in this spot, he's about to pick him. You know, he's a slight favorite, I think, on my book. Some other books still have him listed as a dog or a slight pick him. I think he can win this fight, you know. It's not one I'm going to confidently stamp my name on, but I think Louis Gurule could sneak out a decision here based off potentially some takedowns, based off of some control time, and his own damage inflicted via knees in the clinch, elbows in the clinch, and his own boxing combinations here, because Daniel Barez isn't exactly untouchable, and he is getting older in age. So I'm picking Louis Gurule in this one. Not a super confident pick, though. I will say the first few fights, I'm not loving it as far as putting my stamp down on it. So Louis Gurule, I'm going to say he wins this fight via decision. Then we got Ardelean versus Polyana Viana. Guys, this is not a battle of the most bangable. Otherwise, we would be picking Polyana Viana. Look, she is attractive, and she is most notably known for honestly dating Alex Pereira and getting close with other fighters like Colby Covington. I think Paulo Costa might have had a few slight pictures in there as well, but Polyana Viana is not a effective MMA fighter at this point. She's lost all of her fights in the past few years, and she's lost those fights via finish. On the other side, Ardelean, while also having an OnlyFans following, it's for her creative content. You know, she's exciting, she's funny, she's definitely worth a laugh and doesn't mind laughing at herself as well. She creates content out there, crushing watermelons with her thighs, And she's come into the UFC and she's trying to make a real go of it. You know, this isn't a fighter who is just relying on her looks and all the rest of it. She trains with a serious gym and tries to improve in the sport of mixed martial arts. She is going to be at a slight size disadvantage as Polyana Viana comes in here with both a reach and height surplus, but Ardelean will be compact. She will be driven. We've seen her get beat up and still keep coming forward, so I expect her to win this fight unless she gets submitted, and I don't see that happening. So Ardelean to win via submission or decision. To put a stamp on it, I'm going to say she wins by submission because Polyana Viana has been getting finished up in her losses. So round 2, round 3 sub by Ardelean is going to be my prediction. Then we got Cody Brundage taking on Andre Petroski. Guys, I wish I had never seen Andre Petroski knock himself out attempting a takedown against my boy Jacob Malkoon, because it would make this pick a whole lot easier. But Cody Brundage, 11-9 record. If you dig deep into it, you're going to find out the record is worse than that. He has a losing record inside of the UFC. Andre Petroski, while not the most amazing fighter in the world, his name is not Cody Brundage, and for that reason, I will be picking on him, and I will be betting on him as well. So give me Andre Petroski to win this fight. He wins if it goes to round 2. Cody Brundage hasn't won a fight outside of round 1 in forever, since as long as I've been watching the sport. So give me Andre Petroski here. This is significantly more of a Brundage fade than it is an Andre Petroski glaze session. I don't love the body of work from Andre Petroski, but even if you look at his victory against Rodolfo Viera, where he was able to outstrike him and defend the takedowns, that's basically all he's going to need to do here. Brundage has flashes of brilliance, and that's it. You know, flashes of brilliance is all it is. If Andre Petroski can get out of round 1, he wins this fight. Then we have Ketlen Viera taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, shiny 10-1 record here, takes on Ketlen Viera. If I could guarantee that Ketlen Viera was going to give me effort and, you know, give me consistent effort and give me a takedown in each round, I would pick her because I think she has decent control and she's got strong physicality. So if I could guarantee that she's going to have a strong grappling game plan that she will attack, then I would probably pick her to win this fight. But Ketlen Viera is untrustworthy. So for that reason, I'm taking Jacqueline Cavalcanti to win via decision. Ketlen Viera is durable. You know, we've seen her go out there against the likes of Kayla Harrison and survive. So I'm going to say Jacqueline Cavalcanti by decision is probably the value play angle here. We know that she's going to give us effort. We know she's going to give us volume in the striking department. And I expect to see evolutions in her game as she continues along. She's one of the brighter prospects in women's bantamweight. So yeah, give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Then we have Tommy Gantt taking on Artur Minev. Guys, Artur Minev is no bum, but also he hasn't fought against high-level competition. And for that reason, I'm going to have to take Tommy Gantt, who was originally scheduled for this card, who was originally scheduled to fight Trey Ogden, who's been looking at this date. He's been looking at it, you know, trying to notch this UFC W. And Artur Minev is kind of stepping in here on short notice just to get that UFC contract, which, you know, we always commend those young fighters for stepping in and filling in a slate here. But I don't think it's going to pan out for him for a UFC W, maybe down the line when he has more time to prepare for an opponent and all the rest of it. But I'm going to take Tommy Gantt here. He has multiple paths to victory here. Artur Minev looks dangerous, but against very low-level competition. So give me Tommy Gantt to win this fight. I'll say Minev survives to a decision loss. So I'm going to say Tommy Gantt wins a unanimous decision. Then we have Tokkos taking on Ivan Erslan. Ivan Erslan is very lackluster in the grappling department, and once he is taken down, he's like a white belt down there. You know, we saw it against Jimmy Crute where he got submitted by essentially just a bulldog choke, by a bully choke. You know, he was on top of him, cranking away on the neck, on the windpipe there. Other than that, that wasn't actually a very technical submission that Jimmy Crute got, but Ivan Erslan is good at defending first wave grappling. What I mean by that is it's the initial burst of the takedown. It's the shooting to the legs. It's the body lock takedowns, all the rest of it. Tuco Tokkos, if he isn't going to second phase the takedowns here, if he's not going to chain wrestle, I don't think he gets Ivan Erslan down. And so for that reason, I'm going to take Ivan Erslan to win via knockout. His hands are much better than Tuco Tokkos. They're faster. They're more accurate. Even against my boy Navajo Sterling, early in round 1, he was lighting him up. So Ivan Erslan to win by knockout is going to be my prediction there. Then we have Nikolay Veretennikov taking on Khaos Williams in the welterweight division. Guys, I went into this fight picking Khaos Williams, but with lower confidence than I do have now. And basically what I had to remind myself of is the fact that Khaos Williams, while sometimes you may question his wavering faith in MMA, Khaos Williams is an absolute hustler. right? This man is down to get cash, and the only thing that I think Khaos Williams cares more about than winning this fight is keeping being a UFC fighter, because he's lost 2 in a row. His job is on the line here. Nikolay Veretennikov, he's older, obviously he's also motivated, but Khaos Williams is coming in here with his back against the wall, and I believe he's really been training and grinding for this one. I think that he's motivated. He knows that staying a UFC fighter keeps his branding up, that keeps his deals coming in, it keeps his opportunities up there. So Khaos Williams is serious about keeping his money up, not his funny up. And I think as a result of that, you're going to see a very motivated, very dangerous version of himself here, looking to put on a highlight reel finish against Nikolay Veretennikov. Because if you look at a UFC fighter's winning money, it's a lot more than just their show money. So Khaos Williams is looking to stamp a paycheck, looking to put on another Gucci coat, looking to buy another Porsche. The dude is out here hustling and grinding, and I respect it. So give me Khaos Williams to go out here. I think he knocks out Nikolay Veretennikov and gets a bonus on this card where there's not going to be as many finishes as other cards due to the competition that is slated. So I'm going to take Khaos Williams to win this fight via knockout against Nikolay Veretennikov. Then we got Timmy Cuamba taking on Bernardo Sopaj. Guys, I am high on the supply that is Bernardo Sopaj. I think that even though at 5'6", he might be seen as a more compact bantamweight, I think that's not going to be an issue here against Timmy Cuamba. The speed, the slickness is going to be on the side of Sopaj here, especially in rounds 1 and round 2. He's an explosive individual. He's got both grappling and striking. And outside of his recent loss against Vinicius Oliveira, where he was looking good, but did gas as it was a short notice opportunity, and Vinicius Oliveira caught him with a devastating flying knee, which knocked him out in the 3rd round. Outside of that performance, Bernardo Sopaj has looked levels above the competition that he's fought. Coming off of his first UFC W, looking to build momentum, I think he can get past Timmy Cuamba here. Give me Bernardo Sopaj to win. I'm going to say he wins by submission or decision, but to put a stamp on it, we'll go Bernardo Sopaj. Official prediction by decision. Modestas Bukauskas taking on Christian Edwards. This is an interesting pick from me, guys. Modestas Bukauskas is taking on short notice opponent Christian Edwards. I'm taking the dog here, right? Christian Edwards, if you go back and you watch, he fought Luke Fernandez in CFFC to a 5-round decision. We've seen him have the cardio there. Most recently, he defeated a 3-0 fighter, and he also defeated Jake Collier by slamming him and damaging his shoulder there. Christian Edwards shoots real takedowns for the light heavyweight division here. It says this is a catchweight bout because it's taking place at 215 pounds. Christian Edwards is coming in on short notice. That is a concern, but Modestas Bukauskas' entire UFC career is a bit of a concern. He has patches of brilliance, but he has patches of looking lost in there and looking defensively irresponsible. The faster hands and the more dangerous hands are definitely going to come by way of Modestas Bukauskas, but if Christian Edwards can implement a grappling-heavy game plan here, I could see him outworking Modestas Bukauskas to a decision. So I'm going to take the dog here. For a surprise upset. I think a lot of people are just going to look at this matchup, know Modestas, and just go at some UFC newcomer bum and bet against him. But I'm telling you guys, he could get dusted in round 1 by KO, but if he doesn't, if this goes into the 2nd round, you might be clutching your Modestas Bukauskas ticket a little fearfully, honestly. So I'm going to go Christian Edwards here. Then we have Malcolm Wellmaker taking on Juan Diaz. Guys, Juan Diaz is a 15-1 prospect here who should not be overlooked. But also, people should be reminded that Malcolm Wellmaker chinned Chris Martino. He went out there, he chinned Cameron Simon. And outside of his loss to Ethan Ewing, has looked like kind of a boogeyman of the bantamweight division. He's got that one-shot sleeper power, but he also has strong body kicks. He's got decent boxing combinations. He's huge for the division, and I expect him to come in here incredibly motivated to put his name back in the mix again and show people that he's not just a stepping stone. He's not somebody that you can get past just because you lost to Ethan Ewing, and maybe even we see a rematch with him and Ewing down the line when Malcolm Wellmaker is more of a complete mixed martial artist. So Malcolm Wellmaker to bounce back here. I think he knocks out Juan Diaz here. I think that he still has that killer power, and I see Juan Diaz getting clipped there. So I'm going to go Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout. Then we got Doo Ho Choi, my boy, the Korean Superboy, taking on Daniel Willie Cat Santos. Daniel Willie Cat Santos is on a burn the boats of Korea crusade. I mean, they've been sending Jong Young Lee to him, Yu Sang Yu, and he's been dispatching of these opponents. And Doo Ho Choi is at the end of his career, make no mistake about it. But he is a UFC veteran who has been both entertaining and dangerously effective inside of the UFC. Du Ho Choi is coming into this fight with, I believe, it's about an 18-month layoff. So there is some concerns about the ring rust and all the rest of it here, but he's always come in to fight in great conditioning and all the rest of it. So I expect him to turn up here no different, no exception. And I believe he's been grinding in the shadows there. And I think this is the Korean Superboy here at underdog pricing is definitely worth a look, you know. Just because Daniel Santos has been able to beat 2 Koreans before doesn't mean that he is the kryptonite of Korea. It could just be the matchups here. Du Ho Choi is significantly more dangerous offensively in the grappling and more responsible defensively in the grappling. So I believe he's going to be the one that actually dictates where this fight takes place. And I'm going to say that Du Ho Choi goes out here and finishes Daniel Santos. But it could be with the hands. It could be with the submissions. I'm just going to say he wins via finish. I'm going with the Korean Superboy here to cause an upset against Daniel Santos. And last fight, the main event of the evening, Arnold Allen taking on Melquizael Costa. First and foremost, I'm a fan of both individuals here. I understand and respect the well-rounded skill set that Arnold Allen possesses, his decent kickboxing, his decent takedowns, his strong durability. It's all there. And Melquizael Costa has looked flawed at points against his opponents. But I cannot ignore the fact that he is riding a 6-fight win streak, 2 decision victories, 2 knockouts, and 2 submissions. And the 2 knockouts in question is a knockout over Dan Ige and also a highlight reel head kick knockout over Morgan Charrier. So Melquizael Costa, the dude is on a tear. You know, his only loss in the featherweight division is to the boogeyman that is Steve Garcia. And so for that reason, I'm going to pick Melquizael Costa. He's riding a 6-fight win streak here. He's taking on Arnold Allen, who's 3-3 in his last 6, struggled to put it together, struggled to string consistent wins together. And I'm just going to say that Melquizael Costa at dog money here just has to be the play. Guys, thank you for watching. Those are my official predictions, and if you disagree with me, as always, I will debate you in the comments, so you let me know, you meet me there. And if you're throwing bets down as well, meet me in the comments and let me know that as well. And as for Slam of the Week, that will be being released later today, so enjoy these predictions. Expect to see that notification pop up, so hit that bell icon, get those notifications enabled, and you'll see Slam of the Week drop later today. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you at the cash counter.